Hey, can you hear me, Eddie? I'm telling you, it's been a day. Oh man, I'll catch you up once everybody gets in. Holy smokes! How do I fix my thing now? Oh, not that. I need to put myself as a thing. Hey guys, sorry, it's been a bit of a mess today. Trying to get everything to behave, and nothing wants to behave. So, still working on it. The uh, the podcast is up. It is uploaded to Podbean and should be going out on all major platforms. The YouTube video, because I'm on the road, there's no video this week. So I tried to use Podbean, who is our podcast host, to upload the video because they'll create a video based on the podcast itself. And for whatever reason, it's not uploaded yet. I'm still monitoring it, trying to keep an eye on it. Do I need to turn myself up a little bit? I feel like my audio is a little bit low. There we go. Turn that off. Turn that up a little. You have to bear with Dora in the background and the fans and all that. I apologize, guys. This is not how this stream was supposed to go. Kind of messy. It's been a day. It's been a day. Audio's fine. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not on my main computer setup, so nothing's working the way it's supposed to. And yeah. So unfortunately, we can't really discuss what we discussed in the podcast because we're waiting for the podcast to upload to YouTube. However, I can walk you through what we're talking. I'll try and walk you through kind of what the podcast was about. Today we talked about BlackRock's refiling. They've refiled their ETF as expected. They were able to fix that based on what the requirements were for the SEC. The SEC said they were incomplete. What they had not actually done was said who their security partner was going to be, their security overwatcher was going to be. And just like Fidelity. So if you remember last week, Fidelity announced that Crypto.com was going to be their security advisor or whatever they're calling it, security partner. And so Crypto.com said the same by Monday. Monday's when BlackRock resubmitted. And Fidelity had done it on Friday, and that's why we had found out who their security partners were. And because of that, the SEC had said it wasn't a good enough submission, so they got rid of it. They made them refile. Both companies have refiled, so the one that's involving Fidelity and the one involving BlackRock has actually refiled. So the spot ETFs are back on the table, and just waiting SEC approval at this point. And I'm sure you guys are aware of the impact that this could have on the crypto space. And it's nice to see that it wasn't the SEC being vindictive necessarily, but was more just saying, hey, you got to fill out all the paperwork, not just half the paperwork, which is apparently what they did. So that's been updated. It's taken care of as far from the SEC side, which is nice. As far as another thing we talked about, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but the CEO came out and was talking about Bitcoin, calling it an international asset. That's a huge deal, obviously. Not quite, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if BlackRock holds a majority share of Fidelity, and Fidelity doesn't hold a share in that. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. They're both kind of like the large asset firms in America, so I'm not surprised. But yeah, so the CEO for BlackRock came out, called Bitcoin an international asset, saying that it wasn't based on any currency, and that he was saying that he sees it as the digitization of gold, which is exactly what Bitcoin fanatics want to hear. That's exactly what we want to hear. That it would be used for things like hedging against economic downtimes, and turmoil in countries and stuff like that. So that shows you where BlackRock really kind of their mindset is. And it really came down to BlackRock's customer base requesting the spot ETF, and enough of them asked for it that BlackRock changed. Because if you remember, um, I'm trying to remember his name. I'm going to pull it up. I'm just going to see if the video uploaded here. Still waiting, I think. Yeah, still waiting. It is, by the way, podcast is out on all major platforms except for YouTube. Thanks, Podbean. We'll get it there. Let me just pull up the guy's name. Something Fink. Larry Fink, I think. Of course, I'm just... Yeah. Yeah, it is Larry Fink. Go me. So Larry Fink, who's the CEO of BlackRock, has said that, you know, he originally he was so against crypto. He was 100% anti-crypto, everything like that. But enough of his actual customers came and said, look, we're interested. They started looking into Bitcoin, what the possibilities of Bitcoin were. And they realized it was an asset, and that it wouldn't be a security ever. And they realized that they were going to be able to make a big move. So BlackRock made the move and set that up. So that's really exciting. We did dive into the IRS going after KuCoin and KuCoin customers. So if you're not aware and you are a KuCoin customer and you did not file your taxes between 2016 and 2020, the IRS is going to be knocking on your door, and they're going to have a lot of information. Now, KuCoin had said that they want to not have the IRS, like they were going to fight this battle. But what ended up happening was, in reality, the federal court said you have to. Now, the reason why KuCoin wasn't against them giving the tax records, it's the fact that the IRS and the government had asked for all the records. So any information that KuCoin has on a customer, so that's your username, your name, any pseudonyms, any file, like paperwork you file with them, any IDs you file with, they want literally everything, and it's a mess. So KuCoin said we're going to fight this. KuCoin didn't win that fight. So the feds have said the IRS will get the KuCoin customer database for 2016 and 2020, and anyone who has spent or anyone who has transferred over $20,000 within a single year will be part of that audit. So I hope you guys are not part of KuCoin. And if you are, I hope you filed your taxes properly. But yeah, it turns out KuCoin did not file any of the transactions during that time. So, I mean, that's kind of a hit on KuCoin. Also, I'm not sure if you guys saw, KuCoin itself as well has bumped into an issue with their CEO. Their CEO, now this is not related to KuCoin or anything crypto, but his own personal stuff. He is part of he's a chair member of a charity, and that charity is accusing him of hacking, or at least there's 3 unknown sources who have accused him of hacking and reading people's emails and stuff like that. And I think it's kind of interesting that this comes at the point where they just got done their fight with the IRS, and now the CEO is being accused of these things, which is kind of questionable, because if you own the company, technically you would have access to everybody's emails. That's kind of how it works. So I don't know where that's going to go, but I just think it's kind of funny that showed up today in the news right after, you know, KuCoin lost their case with the federal government. So I kind of interesting stuff there. And then finally, of course, what would it be for a crypto week if we didn't have the obligatory crypto bridge hack? And as you saw, we've had a couple this week. We've had number one, we had the Poly Network, which is the one that we had on our YouTube Shorts, which was a $4 billion hack. Now, in most cases, a lot of that was not able to be sold because there was no liquidity for those coins on the Poly Network. However, SHIB did take a kicking, if you would. 350 ETH worth was sold on that network. And, you know, I'm sure I'm sure the people over at SHIB were not too happy with that, as theirs was one of the main ones that was attacked. There was another one, R-Fuel, that was attacked, and a few others. Now, Metis token was able to actually freeze their tokens, so theirs were unsellable. But yeah, there was a lot of movement of those funds. And what they had done there is they'd actually hacked the bridge and minted. So they had got access to the mint function, and they had obviously minted a bunch of tokens and were selling them. So that's unfortunate for the Poly network. And on the other side of that, we have another bridge hack. Believe it or not, there is another one. And I'm just going to bring it up so I get all the details correct, because this one's fresh in my mind, like it's brand new. So I want to make sure I get it right. But it was, who was it? It was one of the big ones. Multi-chain, that's right, multi-chain. So that includes the Phantom Network, Moon River, Doge Chain, and a few others. And there was $130 million stolen. From what I'm seeing, the largest portion of that was USDC and Wrap BTC. And we're talking $130 million stolen from the bridge. Now, they seem very nervous about this. They've put out a statement saying if you've ever used their network, to go into your wallet and make sure that you turn off, or you not turn off, sorry, that you excuse me, that you stop the not stop that you revoke any access that it has. And you can do that within your wallets. If you have an Ethereum wallet or MetaMask or anything like that, you can go in, look at your connections, what apps are connected, make sure you take anything that's from multi-chain off. And they seem to say from all their apps in their statement. So they obviously do not feel comfortable. I don't know if they lost control of the contracts or what, but they seem very, very uncomfortable. 130 million, it's not the biggest bridge hack, but yet another bridge hack. And this just shows that bridges are completely unsafe, and there still is no seemingly good fix for it. Hopefully the new update with Ethereum does solve that, but it's one of those things. We have to wait and see. And this is what's so scary about bridging. With our project, I mean, we've talked about possibly bridging it, and it's one of those things that you just keep seeing these bridges drop and fall, and you think you see a good one, right? You think, oh, what about Wormhole, right? And then Wormhole gets hacked, and then you think, well, what about this one? And then that one gets hacked. So bridges are very scary, and don't really trust them. Finally, this week we did get a question from Haywire or Wild Tarp Warrior for the podcast. Thank you so much for submitting your question. If you haven't submitted questions, you want to submit questions so I can read them on the podcast, head over to www.everythingcryptopodcast.com and submit them there. There's a link at the top. That was perfect timing, bot, because you can also go to the link tree. And yeah, there is no exact date for the next fork, LKM Land. When is the next update expected for Ethereum? There's no exact date yet. The plans have just been finalized recently. So the way it works is they do the EIPs, which are the proposals, and those proposals are then confirmed or turned away. Once those are confirmed, then that goes to the team. The Ethereum organization has just sold an entire like huge amount of Ethereum, and they're using that for the funding for the next round of development. So they still have to do the development of it. I would expect no sooner than the end of this year, but probably before the bull run. And you have to look at everyone around them who is part of this update. Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon Network, all of them have done their upgrades and their forks to be ready for this. So Optimism did their Bedrock one about a month ago, 2 months ago. So they're ready to roll. And the big update with this is that instead of having to bridge over through smart contracts, what will be able to happen is the actual Optimism chain will be able to talk directly to the Ethereum chain and do transactions for the Ethereum chain directly. So it's really, really, it's a new way of looking at things, and it's going to create what's being called a super chain, which is you don't have just one chain verifying, you have multiple chains verifying, and the actual chains being able to talk directly to Ethereum, which is really, really cool. LKM Land says Optimism sounds interesting. It is absolutely interesting. It's one of the most interesting things out there. Coinbase came out with, or is coming out with, they're getting near launch their own chain, and their chain is actually based on Optimism. Optimism is really, really cool. I'll bring you into, because this is something I've wanted to talk about for a while, because I think Optimism is like one of the most exciting things right now for me. Let me get it here. So it's a layer 2. And if you're familiar with layer 2s, let me get this here. You have to bear with me. I don't have my big screen or anything, so things might be a little wonky. But it's a fast, stable, and scalable Ethereum network. So it's still technically an EVM. But the way that it works is it uses rollups. And what are rollups? Rollups are a way to make transactions even faster. So instead of just having a single transaction count as a transaction in the block, it incorporates more transactions within that one transaction. So you end up with, let's say, 50 transactions in one transaction, and then you have the 13 or 14, whatever transactions that the chain can handle. And it's now doing like this mass amount of transactions per second. So it's a way to speed things up. And optimistic rollups is what Optimism is about. They're the ones who started developing it, although they were delayed in their launch. And what ended up happening was, Arbitrum. Arbitrum kind of took what they were doing and copied it, and they got it out first, where Optimism was spent more time optimizing. But they're both using optimistic rollups. But obviously, by the name, you can tell who created it. What is a layer 2? So layer 2, traditionally speaking, right now doesn't actually mean a lot. So a layer 2 is another blockchain that runs Ethereum contracts and does it in a way, generally speaking, that is a different type of authentication of the transactions that's usually faster, right? Now, these are obviously modified heavily from the Ethereum blockchain because they're able to handle more transactions per second than even Ethereum. So Ethereum's 13 transactions per second. Some of these are in the hundreds of transactions per second. So they control things like how fast a block will release to be verified. So where, on something like Ethereum, where it might be 10 seconds per block, something like Optimism uses 2 seconds per block. So it's extremely fast at verifying things. Now, to this point, that hasn't meant anything. All it means is that you're working on an external blockchain. So BNB is technically a layer 2, although they try and act like a layer 1. So what we're looking at is and this was always the plan, and this is why it's called layer 2, is that eventually the layer 2s could talk to layer 1, which is Ethereum. So it could talk back to Ethereum and do the processing of some transactions for it, alleviating congestion on the Ethereum network. So anything that's basically a smart contract can be sent to the layer 2 for authentication and for verification of the transactions, and then sent back to Ethereum saying, yes, we've approved this. So instead of Ethereum having to go to their nodes and say, here, do you approve this? It can go to a faster network and say, do you approve this? And it says yes. So with this will increase transaction times and reduce congestion on Ethereum 1,000-fold, because it's not just Optimism doing it. There's actually like 6 or 7 chains who are going to be helping in version 1, and probably even more after that. I would absolutely assume Coinbase's new base, because it's based on Optimism and because it uses the Optimism network, it will be doing those as well. But also because a layer 2 will be able to actually talk to the Ethereum network. That's the big thing here, is that you can now have another chain that can talk to the main chain and verify things and be able to transmit things back and forth. And this is a huge deal. It's never been done, and it's obviously a very exciting time. And this is all goes towards moving things to a place where Ethereum is more stable for its gas prices, that it's faster, so it can be used more as a currency. And that's really kind of the goal here, is to get things like Ethereum and get other other projects within Ethereum and within other ecosystems to work together on one super chain. And that's what Layer 2 provides. Now, one of the cool things with Optimism is that you can actually create your own Layer 3. Now, I call it a Layer 3. Some people don't. Some people will call it still Layer 2. Kind of what Binance is, or not Binance, Coinbase is doing with Base. You can actually create your own version of Optimism. Now, Optimism works in a very unique way, and I think in some ways it doesn't work as well necessarily for other chains, depending on what they're trying to do. Because on Optimism, you don't have like an Optimism token, right? The gas token is not Optimism. The gas token is Ethereum. And so what you need to do now, if you're using the Optimism network, is actually transfer or bridge Ethereum over, and it's Ethereum that's used for the gas fee. And I think they did that because they wanted that good connection. No, this is part of the sharding. This is all part of the whole thing. So sharding, what sharding will do on Ethereum is it'll open up more lanes on Ethereum, meaning it'll jump from 13 to 50 to maybe 100 transactions per second. But then with the Optimism and the rollups on top of that, we're looking at another 10,000 per second. So instead of 13 per second, we're going to see thousands per second on Ethereum. But it's all part of the same plan. It's all part of the same cohesive plan that Vitalik had come up with a while ago, and they've been kind of hashing out exactly how they would do it. Now, there are parts of this in the next update that have been left out. And those parts have already been developed and are being developed by Optimism and the other chains that are involved, which is really awesome. But for example, let's say you want to buy, I don't know, Advantis token, right? Instead of going and doing it on Ethereum, where it might be a $12 gas fee, you go to Optimism and you say, I want to trade ETH for this, for Advantis. It would do all the transactions on Optimism in a bulk batch, and then only charge you the percentage of the gas fee to send that transaction to Optimism. So it's going to save a lot of money on gas. This is probably the fastest way for Ethereum to solve gas issues. It also means that Ethereum is going to be the top dog, basically. But it's the top dog with the support of many others. Which I think it's incredible, and I think it's really, really cool. And Optimism's all about this, by the way. So let's say down the road, Polygon doesn't want to run their own hardware, or they don't want to update their own system. What they can do is they can take the parts that they programmed for their project and for their blockchain, and they can add it as a stack on top of Optimism. So all these other chains can. So think of this as like, are you guys familiar? Like if I say Open Zeppelin or like something like that, they want to kind of become that of the blockchain. They want to become the kind of home of the blockchain, that the standardization of the blockchain, how blockchains work. And so what you can do is if you're creating, here we'll go here and I'll show you. So let's say you have your own network now. Let's say your BSC, let's say your Polygon, let's say your whatever. You can literally take the feature set that you wanted and implement it into your own version of Optimism. And then Optimism's the base layer. And they're calling it Optimism Stacks. But really, really awesome stuff. This if you're deep into blockchain stuff and and excited about what the future of like financial blockchain looks like, this is probably one of the most exciting companies out there right now. It was Avalanche for a while, but Avalanche got left out of this update, and so this is kind of the top runner, the front runner for excitement right now. And yeah, I like how it's like Optimism goes, nope, now multi goes super chain. Yeah. And they're talking about here about how saved users $2.69 billion in fees last year. And they're expecting that to obviously increase with the layer 2 integration into Ethereum. So pretty, and there you go. So there's them talking about the base thing. So Coinbase has a bit of their own code, but it runs on the Optimism network, which attaches directly to Ethereum, and so on and so forth. So very, very cool. Base is being minted currently, and Base is Coinbase's new blockchain. I'm still not sure about exchanges having their own blockchains. It feels, I don't know. Well, that's the thing, right? Like there's no like Optimism like token. There's nothing there. They're getting paid by their partnerships and their infrastructures. So yeah, I think I'm really impressed. I gotta be honest with you, I'm really impressed with them. Big fan of Optimism right now. But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I wish I could remember where it was. There's Block Explorers documentation. I don't think it's in documentation. Might be. But they have a really good kind of read up on like setting it up and like creating your own. And then how to like hack your stuff into it so you want your stuff, and it's just it's so cool on so many levels. I think that's just main building on Optimism. Yeah, if I find it, I'll send it out. But yeah, Bedrock was their most recent fork. They just released it. It's modular, so you can, like I said, you can put different components on it. I think, if I remember correctly, there's actually going to be like a marketplace for developers as well. So let's say Polygon creates something and they say, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's create this and let's make this open source. Anyone in the community who wants to try it can put it into their blockchain, which is kind of cool. But yeah, no, exactly. It's there's nothing really to invest into. This is just to make your Ethereum experience better. I dig it. I definitely dig it. And let's see if our video is finally uploaded. Still generating or not. Hey, it's there finally, guys. The episode's finally there. My God. Whoops. Oopsie. There we go. Finally uploaded. But yeah, anyway, so like I was saying, because I'm just kind of going over the podcast now. Haywire submitted a great question, regarding, do I think DeFi is at risk with these new institutional-based exchanges, like the one we talked about in our last episode? And do I think this is the beginning of CBDCs in the Western nations? First things first, as far as DeFi, no, DeFi is not really at risk. And you have to realize that the risk of DeFi is different than, say, risk of something that's centralized. The thing with DeFi is the risk is, does it become more difficult to trade in? More than anything. No government can shut down DeFi. It's just the way it's set up. You have to realize that it would take all governments to agree worldwide, which will never happen, to somehow shut these guys down. And even then, like think about it, they've tried to shut down like Pirate Bay for movie piracy for years, and they still can't do it. There's always some safe haven for that. And the reality is that within the tokenization market, projects, is that even during the bull run, you saw it where people were willing to learn and willing to get out of their comfort zone to come into and trade on something like Uniswap, right? It's not as easy as an exchange. You have to get your Ethereum in, and then you have to do this, and you have to do that. However, people still did it. And people who are not even that technical were still doing it. And the reality is, all the governments can do is maybe push it underground a bit more, but there's not much the governments can do to stop it. As far as it goes, yes, there's going to be regulations and everything that go along with it, and there's going to be projects who follow regulations. There's going to be projects who try and hide underneath the regulations and like not do it. The bigger issue for those projects is going to be their ability to actually get listed on a regular exchange, because exchanges will obviously start requiring that you follow legislation or you follow, the rules of what crypto becomes. And this is why it's so important for us under MiCA to do that. Make sure that we're preparing for that, and that they can't look back at us as Advantis and say, "Oh yeah, but you did this, not you're doing this." So it's one of those things you have to be, aware of kind of what's coming. And once that goes live, I mean, that regulation's there. But do you think every DeFi project's going to regulate? Probably not. Not until they want to get into an exchange, at least. So it's going to be a weird time. I think there's going to be a lot of shifts in the rules, but yeah. No, I want lots of rules. I want look, if there's rules to follow, then you can cover your own ass, right? Like if you know what the rules are, you can cover your backside. If you don't, you can't. And it's unfortunate because you look at something like XRP, right? Like from a business standpoint, they covered their own asses, right? But because there's no rules, the government got to come in and say, we're going to sue you, even though the lawsuit hasn't gone anywhere. Like if the rules were there, that lawsuit would have been over in minutes. So, I mean, I'd rather have rules than not, in all fairness. Exactly. Wild Tarp Warrior says it perfectly. Rules give structure and clarity, and that's what needs to happen. There is no clarity. There is no structure, especially in the USA right now. It's just a mess. And we need that regulation there for that. And I mean, I think it's very clear. But do I think that's going to stop rug pulls? Do I think that's going to stop any of that crap? No, absolutely not. Because you're not going to need to be regulated to be on Uniswap. You're not going to need to be for 1inch or for PancakeSwap. Like, so you do have to remember there's the two sides of the coin on that. So if anything gets pushed down further, there'll be a movement that gets created around it, makes it more powerful anyways. So DeFi is not really at risk overall. Some of the platforms maybe, depending on where they're registered as a business, and if they're trying to act like a business type thing, they might, I think it's the ones who are going to try and follow the rules that might get possibly in trouble in some ways, as long as, regulation. Because here's the thing, what regulators are going to do. Regulators aren't just going to say, oh, well, anyone before this is grandfathered in. They're going to go, no. We're going back 5 years. All right, we're going back to the statute of limitations, and we're going to go through all of it, and we're going to get rid of all the, people who weren't following the rules originally. And I think that's maybe a bit of an issue. But as far as CBDCs, no, I don't see that happening through the exchange like that. CBDCs will most likely go through centralized banks, at least in the United States and Europe and Canada. And the reason why I say this is there's a lot of these major banks, things like HSBC, Bank of America, that hold so much power. They're so rich. They're so powerful. They're so everything that there's no way they agree to the CBDCs unless they become the issuer. And the reason why is because as soon as you have a CBDC, the bank is useless. The bank is literally not even necessary. It doesn't need to exist at that point. And so I don't see them bending over for that unless they get some kind of deal. And that deal would be the issuer and verifier. So I think in reality, we're going to see the public get forced to CBDCs first. And it won't be like a hard force. It'll be like, oh, well, you can receive your paycheck in this, or you can receive it in that. Like you can receive it in fiat or as a CBDC. And they'll see how many people are interested in. And then they'll be like, okay, well, you have to take your paycheck in CBDC type thing eventually. But it'll be like a long road for that. They're not going to just like force everybody instantly, I don't think. But you also have to remember in the United States, you have to remember in the States, the CBDC, there's not just one, there's two. And they're doing this in a lot of countries who are looking at doing CBDCs. And they'll have a CBDC for the everyday citizen. That's what you get paid your paycheck in, whatever. And it's got a set of rules. And then there's going to be a business one that's for institutions, and they get their own set of rules. And if you think that sounds terrifying, it is. It's absolutely diabolically insane when you think about it and you break that down. And the purpose of that is that, let's say we're in an economic downturn. This is, by the way, I'm taking this from the US CBDC suggestions, is that if there's an economic downturn, if people are hoarding money and keeping it in their accounts, which is their right to do, the government can punish them for it and force them to spend that money. So it's like they could do a spend it or lose it type thing. And, you know, that is terrifying that the government can even say that to you. Like, you know, some people have, you know, maybe, well, I mean, most people do have a lower risk tolerance during hard financial times. And so people will be trying to save as much as they can. And if the government comes and says, you can't do that, you have to spend it or we take it. I mean, damn, like what the hell is that? And it's like, oh my God, that's so terrifying. And you know how these governments are. You give them an inch, they take a mile. So what would happen? They come out with this. They come out with this right now, and they say, well, it's an emergency time. We have to put that rule in act, right? So they put that rule in enforcement, and they start taking people's money if they're not spending it, right? And too bad for your savings. Too bad for any cash you have, right? You have to go spend it. And then the economic crisis ends, but you think they're going to stop? They don't stop. Once they enact a rule, they never stop. It's always there. They you know, look at the American government. They started spying on their own citizens. They started spying on citizens of the world with their technology and with the NSA and the CIA. And that was from the 2001 9/11, unfortunately, that happened. But have they ever reduced it or pulled that back or said, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore, NSA? No, of course not. Because now that they've got the rule approved, it's going to be near impossible to take it away because now they want that information. They see that information, they want it. They're going to keep it, right? It's like when a government tells you, you know what, times are tough for the country. We're going to increase the tax rates. It's a temporary measure. Have you ever seen a tax rate hike for a temporary measure ever go back down to what it was before? I never have once in my life. And I've seen those emergency, we're going to raise the tax 1% or whatever. And it's absolute bullshit. And that's the way the government works. Like I said, you give them an inch, they take a mile. So you can't give them that kind of control. And the thing that scares me, I think, the most is I don't think that enough people are educated enough to know the risks and what could happen with the government. And that's very scary. So yeah, I don't think it's the CBDC thing. I don't think those exchanges really have anything to do with it. I think it's mostly going to be central banks. That's a tough one. It was funny because I don't know if he's still here. I saw him jump in for a second. Justin Ewart and I were talking at one point, and he's in California, right? And it's funny. So sometimes I watch YouTube videos. And I watch random stuff. You know this, guys, but I watched this one guy, and he goes up to people in Lamborghinis and say, "What do you do for a living?" And like expensive cars, and that's his entire channel. It's funny to watch sometimes. Yeah, you're still here. Okay, perfect. And out of the females driving like the Ferraris, Lamborghinis, like Bentleys, stuff like that, something like 70% of them have an OnlyFans, right? And you have to remember, in OnlyFans, you get paid on tips as well. And Justin Ewart and I were talking, and like a lot of those tips come through cryptocurrency. So if you want them to vote for you, you can't get rid of cryptocurrency. You can't get rid of fiat. You need to have apps like digital, like apps like Venmo. And like, I didn't realize that it was such a big thing in California until I was watching those videos, to be honest with you. And Justin Ewart told me about it first. And he was like, yeah, no, they're like this whole young generation. I mean, they live on digital currencies and digital transactions and apps and stuff like that. So. But yeah, no, it's insane. And it's like, if you think about it, it makes sense, because if you're doing those types of changes and like those type of like business dealings, if you would, yeah, it's insane. And see, I don't get that here. We don't see that here in the same way. Now I'm in a smaller city, so that's probably why. I bet you in Toronto it's the same thing. But yeah, Apple Pay, Venmo, any of these digital payment systems. But like you were saying, like when we were having that conversation, you were saying like a lot of these girls who do these like OnlyFans get tips in crypto. You would be taking away like what, 90% of their income? Yeah, it's not going to happen. Let's get real here. Man, oh man. Oh yeah, they probably jump app top. Whatever's cool and hot. Talking of new apps, by the way, guys, just so you're aware, I did set up my Threads account. So just Moonshot on Threads is me. Just so you're aware. Not sure I'm going to use it, but I grabbed the account just in case. I wasn't sure if they were saving account names from Instagram or not. But you know, what do you guys think of Threads? Have you guys played with it at all? I mean, it's clean. It's clean as hell. But they seem to be censoring people pretty hard over there. So it's like the exact opposite of Twitter. It's like Twitter will be your free speech one, and Threads will be behave yourself or you're censored. That said, the app is beautiful. I really like the way the app works. The only thing I wasn't sure of was, do people use hashtags on there? Because I didn't see a single hashtag when I was going through the initial feed. Yeah, we did. Well, actually, LKM did. And thank you, LKM, for doing that. She got the Everything Crypto podcast over on Threads as well, which is awesome. Okay, so there's no hashtags allowed. So only followers, I guess, can see what you're writing about. So what's the point? Are you supposed to get all your followers from Instagram and then bring them to Threads? I'm confused. I do like it though. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a really pretty app. Like, as much as I hate Facebook as a company, or Meta, I guess, they do make some really nice stuff. That's true. Yeah. Well, you know what I think's really funny is like, it's like, hey, look at these accounts have 4 million followers in like the first week. No, they're counting the followers on Instagram. And they said 39. What was it? 39 million signups in the first day. 39 million signups in the first day. Here's the question: were they real signups, or are they just counting all the people on Instagram? Zuck's a weird dude, man. He is weird. Honestly, I don't think I could ever work for Zuck. He's just so much of a robot. He's just too weird for me, and not weird in the right way. I like weird, just not in that way. I mean, okay, here's what I like about it. And this comes from the photographer, Justin, just so you're aware. I love the way they handle images on there. It's so good. Images on there are insane. By the way, who here is like on Instagram? Who here uses lizard people? Now you're making me think of the Y Files. There was a new episode yesterday, by the way. Lizard people. What was it? Who here's on Instagram and actually uses Instagram? And who's been like an Instagram user for a while? Because I've been on Instagram since the first day it came to Android, because I was not using Apple at the time. And I was going through all the stuff and was using it for photography, and I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a great place to share images, get your work seen. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Instagram. Now I go on Instagram, and the feed is like TikTok. It's random people, nobody I know, literally nobody I know. And it's literally like just people repurposing TikTok videos. Like, does all it show now is Reels? I'm so confused. I got away from Instagram for a bit, so that's probably why I'm so confused. And it feels so jarring, but it's like, I don't know. It feels like TikTok's little brother or something. I don't know. I find the feed on Instagram very weird. I mean, we put Reels out for the Everything Crypto podcast, and they do okay. But honestly, I just feel like Instagram's not Instagram anymore. Well, you know what? Okay, I will say something about YouTube. Their algorithm's really good. They basically show me what I want to see. And even in shorts, it's pretty close, except for if I get into the feed and then start scrolling down, then it just kind of goes a little weird. But I like that the shorts are separated. Like, shorts are in their own section. Like, here's some videos, here's some shorts, here's some more videos you might like, here's some more shorts you like. I like how it's broken up and it's not just jammed in your face. Like, when you go to Facebook, what do you get? You get the homepage, and the homepage, like, I don't know. I like it. It's not just playing stuff at random in my face. Like, you open up TikTok, and what does it do? It starts blaring a video in your face. I got some good shorts, man. That's the thing. You gotta kind of game the algorithm from the viewer side. You have to stay on stuff that you want to watch or like it or interact with it, so that it gives you more of the same. Mine's full of like comedians. The wife likes watching comedians, so it's all full of like stand-up comedians. It's that, a tiny bit of crypto, some car stuff. It's kind of it, really. And then every so often, like random, like some like really weird stuff. Are the shorts AI generated? Wildcard Warrior? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's the reason I was able to get so many out at the beginning of the week. So the scripts are not AI generated. I'm writing the scripts, and I'm using a program called Descript, which is actually a really cool program. And you literally can type what you want in. And then I use an AI to actually pick the stock footage for it. It automatically picks it. I find out to change 2 or 3 clips, but that's about it. But yeah, I write the script, and then the voiceover is the voiceover is AI. When you listen to this upcoming podcast, you're gonna hear if I say movie voice guy, you know who I'm talking about, right? So you're gonna hear a movie voice guy. That's actually AI doing that, and that's part of Descript. Well, I like them because they're good for getting like that really short content in. You don't have to sit there and shoot it, go to edit it, realize you screwed it up, go shoot it again, realize you screwed it up. And then, like, how are you supposed to release 3 a day and keep up with news and stuff like that? So I was like, you know what? Eddie, it was Eddie Zane. I'm pretty sure it was Eddie Zane who was talking about it in the members chat for Advances. He was talking about the AI stuff, and he had clipped something from one of our YouTubes. And it was fantastic. It was amazing. And it was like, holy crap, like, that's pretty awesome. And I was like, wait a second, what if I mixed the really, really good voice generation that I have in Descript and that? And the whole idea is that with Descript, I can read a couple hours of a book to Descript, and what it will actually do is create an AI based on my voice. So what I'll be able to do is eventually do those shorts, YouTube shorts, but in my voice specifically. And you wouldn't be able to tell the difference, which is kind of neat. But it's going to allow for higher production output for those shorts. Because with shorts, you have to get them going. You have to send a bunch out, especially on TikTok. By the way, our TikTok has been doing fantastic with the videos. Instagram did really well with one of them. The most popular one, I think, to date, I think overall is probably still the Kraken IRS one. Guess a lot of people like the IRS and Kraken, but yeah, the other one is the one for Advantage did really well. Yeah, there's a whole like thing to it. It's really fun though. But the other thing that Descript's good for, and it's a really cool program if you're not familiar. If you do any content creation, Descript. I don't know if I can get like a what's it called, like a share link, but it's a program that literally you can drop any audio or video into, and it transcribes it using AI. And so it'll transcribe like a full video in like, I don't know, a couple minutes. And then you can sit there, instead of like video editing where you're cutting the video stream, linking them together, cutting, linking. You can actually just go into this and say, oh, I said this word here, I didn't mean to, and you can delete it. Or you can say, because like usually when you're recording, what you'll do is you'll start and you'll be like, I don't know. So crypto.com has said, oh, damn, I meant Coinbase. Hold on. Okay. So Coinbase.com said, so you kind of restart that recording and you say the sentence again. And then you just literally highlight the sentence you messed up and hit delete, and it cuts it right out of the video. Like instantly. Like it's nothing. So it really increases speeds of video editing for talking head videos or for anything like that. And then you can export the transcription as like, what's it called, as subtitles or closed caption if you want. And then the other thing you can do with it, which is a little bit newer, and they've integrated ChatGPT 4 in it. I don't quite know how yet, or they're going to. But one thing you can do is you can write stuff and actually have AI read it. So it's really cool. Okay, which was what one? What one? What program? It's called Descript. It's a really easy program too. It's really, really nice. Let me do this. I'll show you. Where are you guys? You guys are here. I'm not sure how it's going to do on here, but we're going to try window Descript. Here, here, you guys get a behind the scenes on how stuff works. You know what? I need to stop it and restart it. Darn. Hold on. Stop. That. Share screen. This. Does it allow me to do audio through it? I don't know if it does. But literally, so you can see here's the podcast intro that was created. This is the one where it reads it. And Don's voice, who is movie voice guy. I don't know if I hit play if you guys can hear it or not, so we'll try.
You are listening to the Everything Crypto Podcast.
No, you're not going to be able to hear
Justin,
it.
known as just Moonshot.
But like literally, all I have to do. Yeah, Dora did it again. But yeah, you write everything in here, and it can read it in a fairly natural voice, which is pretty awesome. There's a bunch of different voices, so you can go stock voices. Don's movie guy. You got Emily, Carla, Ruth. Malcolm's another one. This one we used a bit. Ethan we've used a bit. Henry we've used a bit. Henry's kind of our main shorts guy. Nancy and then Nicholas. But then you can also like create. Yeah, all right, buddy. You can create your own voice as well, and you do that by training it by reading. The more you read, the more accurate it becomes, which is really really cool. So this is like an audio that I've like just typed out. Whereas if I go back one, back to projects. So this is podcast 1. This is, I think, pre-edit. It's not gonna let me hit play on this for whatever reason, but like if I go through here, the entire video is playing, and if I want to take, keep yourself safe out, I could just go, yeah, no, thank you. And then that whole part's removed from the video and the video's cut properly for that, which is really, really cool. Very, very strong program. And share screen. We're looking at optimism, so that one's fine. Share. And back to you guys. There we go. Some of them sound really funny. Yeah, they have a new code analyzer. It makes sense though. Think about it. A lot of people are using it for code. The only problem is though, like if you've ever tried to program with ChatGPT, sometimes like simple stuff you can do and it does okay. Other stuff, oh my god, it's so bad. Yeah, unfortunately, Wildtarp, I'm not in my studio, so we have to have the TV on the background for the little guy who's with me. But yeah, it's kind of, it's a really good program. And then I'm using, is it Pictory? Yeah, Pictory.ai is the video generator I use. And that one's, I've been really impressed with it. I gotta be honest with you. It's done a really good job. Every time I give it a script or something like that, it's done a really good job at picking the clips, and it automatically does the. So you take the script, you upload it, and off it goes. It gives you the subtitles, and then you upload the audio, the MP3, and it puts the words to the audio dead on. It never makes a mistake with that. And then yeah, it's really good. Oh, you can hear it on Descript? That's awesome. Could you hear it loud enough to understand what it was saying? I'll play it again if you want. I think it's awesome. I've done some really funny ones actually. If you can hear it loud and clear, then I'll do it. It's pretty funny. Doesn't do videos, unfortunately, on live stream. It's kind of a pain. Back to projects. It was intro. Oh, it's just stopped working for some reason. Maybe it froze. You know what? Let me stop that and I'll restart it and let's see what it does. Okay, so let me close the program. And it's probably because I have like so many things open on a not so fantastic computer right now. There we go. I'm missing my main computers. See that. Present, share screen. This one, this one, this one.
You are listening to the Everything Crypto Podcast with your host, Justin, known as just Moonshot. This show is not financial advice and is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And if you are watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you get notified when the next episode goes live. Now on with the show.
So I think it's pretty fun. It's fun to play with, that's for sure. And it's kind of been neat to be able to add it into kind of the workflow as well. Trying to think, there was one I created that was really funny. I don't know what I named it though. All these are in the cloud. No, this is me editing. I do all my a lot of my initial video edits in here. That's. I'd have to see if I can find it on Discord. Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great. There we go. Put that there. Where is LKM? I sent it to you, I'm pretty sure. It was that event, this like movie short thing I did. Is it this one?
Advanced his AI release.
No, that's a shorts. Pretty sure I sent it to you.
In a world where trust has become...
Yeah, there it is. See if I can download it and send it to like StreamYard or something and play it from there. See if I can add that. It's stuff, man. That's funny. All right. I'll see if I can play it. Wish me luck.
In a world where trust has become digital, where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, where the line between reality and deception has blurred, there is one AI who dares to challenge the system. They think they can fool the world with their scams, but they haven't met the one hero who can stop them. Armed with unparalleled knowledge and unmatched skills, he dives into the dark web, exposing the criminals hiding behind false identities. From the shadows, a hero emerges, and the world will never be the same. Advantiz, the protector of the digital realm, on the blockchain now.
I don't know why, but that just makes me laugh every single time. In a world. That one made me laugh. I enjoyed that one. Basically did like a movie trailer. Yeah, I thought it was funny. I was like, you know what? If they got movie voice guy, I should play with it. And so that one there, that one was really funny. So everything in that is AI generated. ChatGPT did the script. Yeah, so ChatGPT did the script. The AI from Descript wrote it or read it, created the audio for it. Then the Pictory AI, and this was before I had my account with them, so I was on the free account. I had it do all the subtitles, and then it picked all those images for it, which is pretty funny. I was kind of tempted to make it short, to be honest with you. I thought it was kind of funny. Actually, I thought it was really funny. That was my first time like testing Pictory to see what it could do. Now, the one thing I will say that's kind of annoying about Pictory, as good as it is it's like, okay, so you want to get rid of the watermark or the thing at the end. Okay, done. And I was like, done, gone. See ya. And then and then so what you do is you upgrade, right? Because you're like, well, if I'm going to use this professionally, I'm not going to have the screen at the end promoting Pictory. So you upgrade, and then it's like you go and you upload the thing. You upload the what's it called? You upload the video, you go upload the audio, and when you upload audio, say use for entire video. It's like, to use your own audio for the entire video, you have to have this level. So it was like, I upgrade, then I had to upgrade again. And it's like, damn it. It's kind of an annoying sign-up process, but yeah, no, it's a great program to use. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Now you can see how people would absolutely cheese this system all to hell, because like when you set up here, I'll show you. When you set up for them, check this out. No, cancel. This one. Yeah. So when you get into Pictory, this is your first screen. This is your first kind of stop. And it's like, okay, typing script, which is the one I use. Start typing a script, copy paste. The other is copy an article. So can you imagine going online, going to like finding like a top 10 article and then creating a YouTube video about it and then uploading it to YouTube? They do have the edit video using text, which is fun. Same system that I use, but with a different program. And then, of course, you have a visuals editor as well. But yeah, it's quite the tool. Hey, wait a second. LCAM, you know what we could do? We could turn your what's it called? Your Medium articles into videos. We use those on socials. There we go. See, this is why I got this, because it gives me ideas. But yeah, literally, like if I take a script, so, or was that script I created? Like this. I drop this in here. We'll call it podcast intro. Click on proceed. Then you choose kind of how you want your subtitles to be. I've just been using this one. I think it's the cleanest. Then you choose 16:9, 9:16, or 1:1. And then it just goes through and analyzes the text and searches for visuals based off keywords it picks up. Yeah, LinkedIn post for that. So see, now it's got this. And so we can like click the preview. Now it doesn't have the audio yet. So but it's already cut the video. Like it's already pre-cut. And I can go in here and I can say, oh no, you know what I want? I don't know, this one instead, right? And you notice that these are all watermarked, right? So it'll say like story blocks on them, or you'll see watermarks all over them. What happens is when you sign up for this, you get use of these from Storyblocks. And so when you export, the actual watermark goes away. So these are legit. You have access to. So really, really cool. And yes, Justin Ewart, send me more AI tools. I'm having too much fun with them. You can add elements like stickers, stuff like that. And then your audio, this is what you do. You come here and you go to voiceovers, my uploads, and then put in whatever. So these are the shorts that we did. So there's the Advantage trailer one. Use it for the entire video. It would process it in and it would just have that audio through the whole thing. You can also do voiceovers here, but their voiceovers are terrible, terrible quality voiceovers. Yeah, more text, change styles. You can add logos, brandings. You can add like end tags. So like you can have an intro scene. It's off by default, but you can have it there. And you have an outro. Like this is a really cool program. And it does a really good job too. So like visuals, like let's say it doesn't have what you want. Like let's say I was looking up the SEC or something. There's SEC, Currency Exchange Commission. If I wanted government, I can pick. I usually use this one, but you can pick whatever you want and drop it in. Just drops right in. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's crazy stuff. Yeah, Victory's been really awesome. There was another one. Eddie, what was that one that you had sent me? Where it takes YouTube videos that are already created and cuts them. Because that was really cool. Eddie's still here. Hopefully he is. Because Eddie was the one who got me even looking into this. This was just an alternative, and this did more than what the other one did. The other one was like, okay, if you have a long form content, it says like it create 5 shorts from. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Eddie. It can create like 5 shorts from a 10-minute video or something like that. But the really cool thing is they have an AI that actually analyzes if it would be popular or not based off of keywords and everything. Yeah, and it suggests titles and everything and descriptions. Honestly, I give it another year before everything on YouTube's just AI generated. Let's be honest. But no, those shorts have been doing really well. I haven't looked in a couple days, just with everything that's been happening. But oh, TikTok, no, don't want to watch videos. TikTok, what do we log in with? Google? Cool. Where is it? Why can't I find it? There it is. I'll just log in. Hello? TikTok? Stop being weird. Your profile. So if I go show you guys here, see 241, 263, 268. Eddie has some really good insights, by the way, on this. So what TikTok is doing right now is it's sending these out to about 260-ish people. And then it's more about continually uploading than anything. But we're getting actual responses. We're getting likes and stuff like that, which is awesome, which is good to see because I mean, a lot of times, like I've created TikTok stuff in the past and stuff like that, and literally getting any type of response is like low for your first 3, 4, or 5 like posts, and yeah, it kind of started going right away, which was really nice. So we got to kind of skip ahead, which was clean. And then Instagram, one of them got like 650, 700 in 2 days. I think it deleted it. Damn. And I can't see that. Shit. Hold on. Can you DM it to me on Discord? That's an ear. Because the video starts with "Did you hear?" That's me trying to. So there's a few things you can do in videos to trick people into watching. One of them is like starting a video. Did you hear? Did you know? Oh, there we go. Thanks. Opus Pro. Yeah, there it is. This is the one that Eddie sent me. This one's really cool. Where's my shared tab? It's this one. So this one here, like literally goes in and creates content, and then it's actually got like face detection too. So like if somebody's moving a bit, it'll like move the camera and like auto crop and everything. Grabs the text automatically, puts it in place. Does an incredible job.
Especially given your experience at Panera Bread would be.
I was really impressed.
What is changing about?
And then when you generate them, what happens is it comes back and says, "Hey, you know what? This is going to be the best one." Exactly. Make things look like a vagina and people will watch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Kidding. Trying not to get canceled. And like the thing is, like when you think about it, you know, 200 upload minutes. Not quite sure exactly what that works out to, but like when you think about it, right? That's not bad for what it's doing. Like the max you pay at 800. Now you can increase this, but at 800, you're 52 a month. If you're paying an employee to do this, I mean, you can imagine what you're paying the employee to do it, or if you're paying a service to do it. A lot of those like faceless YouTube channels you see, the top 10 ones, what they do is they'll hire a voice actor, they'll hire the script writer, and they'll and it's something like $800 or no, sorry, $200 per video to create those. And then they get all the stock images and everything, or stock videos. But yeah, like you're 200 per video. And if you use a system like this, you're like $40 a month per tool. So, you know, for $200, you could set yourself up to do a lot. And that's per month, not per video. So yeah, I think as AI gets better at cloning voices, gets better at, you know, mimicking human, all those faceless YouTube channels will all be AI generated. I know some of them are now. Like you can always tell when you find them because AI is not perfect. And those voice reading things aren't perfect, but they're getting pretty damn close. Did you guys see what Whale Chart posted? Crypto exchange, so crypto.com accidentally sent a user 50K by mistake and now wants him to return 76K. Oh, that's so bad. Oopsie. Why would you turn that into a PR nightmare? It's 50K, man, compared to what you put out every single day. Think about that. If you're crypto.com, you have billions of dollars a day in transactions that happen. would you literally go after the guy and tell him he has to pay more back than what he got sent? That makes no sense. That literally makes no sense. The PR nightmare from that wouldn't even be worth the $50K. It's going to cost you way more. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, man, why would you do that? Yeah, and how did... I mean, it's not the first time they've done it. They've done it a lot of times, to be honest with you. It's been more than once, that's for sure. But, you know how it is. Here's my question. What if you send them $50K and say it was a mistake? Oh, I get it. Okay, I kind of get it. I get it. The extra $26K is for legal fees because they had to go to court over it. But still, like, is that worth it? Is that worth the negative press to them? I mean, they spend more on that on one ad. I don't know. If I were them, I might just take that shot to the head. I mean, you're the ones who did it. Yeah, it's legal fees. Semi less interesting, but still. Well, no, they got $50K back plus the other guy gets got to pay for the lawyers, which is $26K. But like, think about that though. Like, the negative press you're gonna get from that. For you to come out with a campaign to actually turn people's sentiment back from doing something like that would cost you more than $50K. And you got insurance too, so pretty sure insurance will cover stupidity to a certain level. I'm not exactly sure how that would work, what the exact, like, if insurance would even cover that, but still, like, if you send somebody money by mistake, it's funny because the courts actually sided with Crypto.com. Generally, in the past, they haven't. If a bank sends you extra money by mistake, they generally say that it was, you send it to them. Oh, they lost at least one customer from that. I just think it's kind of funny. Oh, man. Oh, we got new news, guys. We have some new news. Look at this. Coinbase knew it may have been breaking or violating laws prior to the SEC's lawsuit, regulators claim. Oh, man. Oh, that's right. Twitter Space, 5 minutes. Do we have a link? Dude, do we have a link yet? All right, guys. I'm going to sign off. Wild Tarp Warrior or Dude or Haywire, whatever you want to call him, is going to be having a Twitter Space in 5 minutes with LKM. And yeah, I want to go support him. If you guys want to go support him, I'm sure he'll put the link up in the Discord. And I'll retweet it out as soon as I see the link. Thanks guys for putting up with this mess of a Friday. I wish it would have gone a little bit better. I should be back to do it the way I want to do it next week. So the plan is there's one main chat. Perfect. Awesome. Love it. Do you want to main chat? I'll grab it. I'll post it here. But yeah, it's unfortunately this week kind of went sideways. So things didn't get worked out the way I wanted them to get worked out, but we got there in the end. And the podcast is now up and live. Please note there is no video to it. It was uploaded by Podbean themselves. So it's probably some kind of anime graphic, if I was guessing. But yeah. Walter, I'm not seeing the link. So hopefully I can find it. That's me. Oh, that was somebody else retweeting me. Sorry, I'm just going to find it here. Alcam, if you're here, send me the link. You might have to DM it to me, Wild Tarp. I think you have to send it to me because I think it's just going to block it if you try and send it. So just DM it to me on Discord and I'll put it up. Oh, perfect. Thanks, buddy. Got it. There we go. So I'm heading over there. Go support the man, the myth, the legend, dude, Wild Tarp Warrior, Haywire, whatever you wish to call him. A man of many names and many talents. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.